Hello, everyone, and welcome to Little White Lies. I'm Petty LaBelle,
And I'm Christian Black, and together we cover common racial misconceptions
historical inaccuracies.
and untold stories about the popular things we enjoy today in American culture.
Now, today, actually, this time, we are going to cover the
Mm.
origins of gangs in Southern California. What?
Are we petty? Are we really gonna cover it?
I mean, boy, don't start. We covered what we needed to cover the last episode, didn't we?
Okay, you're right, but still.
That's what I thought. So, like I said, today we're going to talk about the first gang in Los Angeles ever.
So we finna cover the history of Bloods and Crips and how post-World War II economic decline and the denial of reform and financial support for blacks was denied due to racial segregation, leading to the formation of black street clubs and ultimately gangs, right?
Well, that part, but no. We finna talk about the white folks.
Oh, white folks. All right. So we finna talk about the police, right? I mean, that's the biggest gang
Nah.
around.
Nah. The first documented gang in Los Angeles was white folks, the Spook Hunters.
The who?
The Spook Hunters. They were the first gang formed in LA made up of white teenagers. Their goal was to stop Mexican Americans from moving into East LA and black folks from moving into Central.
Oh, so basically KKK Junior, if you will.
They might as well have been. I mean, the Spook Hunters came around the late 1930s. The name was inspired by the derogatory term for blacks called spooks because, they was hating on the melanin, fools.
Okay, so let me guess. They did the usual hate crimes, burning down houses, slashing tires, brutalizing black and brown folks.
Yep, and then they threw a party celebrating John F. Kennedy's assassination.
A party? Why would they throw a party for that?
Well, because a lot of white people saw him as a,
A what?
A nigga lover.
Oh, a nigga lover. Well, oh no, God forbid a decent human being in the white community trying to do right.
I mean, listen, I'm just here to deliver the facts. That's what they called him, and they were really glad when he passed.
Foul. So the police, the government didn't do nothing to stop this violence from happening to black and brown people?
Nope. In fact, they were supported by the local police and white communities in the neighborhood. And then in 1948, when racially restrictive covenants that kept the neighborhoods all white were outlawed, the Spook Hunters acted as reinforcements and then tormented black families and students at various high schools like Fremont High and South Central.
And I'm guessing they figured if they couldn't get the neighborhoods to stay white, the least they can do is make the schools black free.
Yep, and in Compton, out of all places, the school district even built a whole ass school called Centennial High on Central Ave to stop black kids from coming to Compton High. But eventually black kids started going there and then a race riot broke out.
A whole ass race riot because black kids started going to the same school as them?
Nah, man, that was just the beginning. The spark was when a black girl was elected homecoming queen instead of a white girl. Then they all lost their damn minds. And then after the riot, white students started transferring to Dominguez High School since it was basically still all white. And then soon after that, their white parents started selling their homes in fear that the property value would go down because they were starting to have black neighbors.
That's some bullshit. Like that's some for real bullshit. Like we the one that's a threat. Like,
right?
do you think stuff like this should be included when talking about the formation of gangs, Betty?
I definitely think it should. The fact that they don't even talk about how gangs started and that basically everything was built off the backs of just hate and oppression. Like, I never knew that white people even had gangs, not any that were for real. Like, I wouldn't have think they were the beginning of the whole thing. It's always been painted to me that it was like black on black crime or like, black folks against Mexican folks or against any other ethnicity, that type of stuff. I never knew white people were even in the mix like that. I thought they stayed far away from that kind of stuff, but to find out that they had their own starting point is crazy.
Man, that's crazy. And like, if you really think about it, like, it don't make no sense that regular gangs just sprout up out of nowhere. Like,
right.
It's just all like,
right.
Oh, we sort of like accepted like, oh yeah, the Bloods and Crips, and you have this group of people over here, they've been here for a while, but never really questioned like why they're there,
right,
and how it started.
What's the purpose?
Right. And like when you think about white people and like inside of gangs, you can't really relate it to nothing. Not in real life. Like, I think of like The Outsiders back in middle school. Thinking of, Pony Boy and stuff like
I
that with greased up
can't.
hair and stuff with a switchblade and a leather
Leather
coat.
jackets, pomade.
Exactly.
I can't.
Exactly. Like that's all I can think about when it comes to, white people being inside of gangs. And then even that is sort of romanticized and like
Right.
put inside of different movies
It
and
really
films
is.
and entertainment, and people eat it up.
But we're made
But
to look like thugs and killers, and we'll just end your
for
whole life and your whole family.
real,
Like, yeah, it's not
demonized.
facts.
It ain't right. Like, overall, I think it's very important to mention the whole story when addressing gang violence both on the streets and in prisons, especially since most gangs form due to racial discrimination.
I definitely feel you on that.
Mm.
And you can learn more by checking out our social media accounts or our official website where we do weekly petty posts and constant spilling up the tea. This has been Little White Lies. Stay petty, y'all.
Stay petty.